Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Moss, the official podcast of Somos Moss NM and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bell. Joining me here this evening on this instant reaction is the one and only Jacob Terrell. Jacob, obviously, New Mexico United lost tonight to Colorado Springs for the first time ever up in Colorado by a final score.
That's not true.
Oh, no, you're right.
The home game,
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I can remember the home game that we had in 2020.
Well, yeah, okay.
We lost that one, and I'm pretty sure we lost last year to Haji Berry up there 3-1. If maybe that was
that was here. That was here. They beat us here. Yeah. Then we went back up there and beat them there. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, Colorado Springs finally gets that hump off their back. New Mexico United, 2-1 loss. A bit of a weird performance tonight, if you ask me. I mean, we get a little bit lucky, a little bit unlucky, and then Kalen Ryden gets turned around. So, I mean, where do you want to start with this one?
I don't know. Let's address the biggest elephant in the room, the offense, or lack thereof. Is it just as simple as Nava and Weehan are that necessary? Is there something else going on there? Do we need to see guys like Bruce and Milo in there, giving a little bit of a spark? What's going on there?
I don't necessarily think it's as simple as just Bees and Christian. I don't think it is. Is there a lack of creativity at times? Absolutely. But you look at tonight and you see Amando making runs, and we'll talk about a couple things that happened throughout the night, in terms of Amando. But I mean, there was some creativity there. Now, was it nearly enough? No. Like a couple of the opportunities that we saw came off of a long ball out of the back. We saw, Santi pick up an opportunity and convert a goal based off some pressure coming immediately out of halftime. But I mean, I think it's a lack of quality transitions, a lack of quality opportunities, and again, we're just not quite finishing. I mean, Josh Dowling had a shot this evening. I thought it was a pretty decent spot. Not necessarily a high XG goal, I would think, without looking at the data. Tight angle, shooting from that spot, going to the left, off balance. I think the odds of that one going in were a little bit slimmer than what a lot of people look at that and then would think, from his positioning on the field. So I don't know. I mean, creativity has to be better. We had opportunities and we did not take advantage of them. But missing those two guys is huge. I mean, Sergio has to do something. Brucey has to do something. And, honestly, to this point, in my opinion, Amando has been the most creative player we've had so far this year. But you can't rely on just one guy to do that. Mm-hmm. Now, even when Bees comes back, I think Bees helps, but I don't think that's the full answer. And I know it's kind of like convoluted, but it's not one or the other. It's a combination of both things.
Right. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. It's weird to come off of, a pretty good offensive preseason. Looking at goals that I thought were replicatable, if that's a word, in the regular season, and just I don't know why we just can't seem to put it together in this regular season so far. And it's just, I watch it and I think, okay, well, I remember last season, the panic button was hovered at here and there. I hovered over it a little bit here and there. and I'm still just hovering over it right now. We're only 5 games in, and it hasn't been pretty. But if we don't see some kind of tenacity out of these guys at home against Orange County after this outing, then it might be full blown panic. Can you block commenters?
I'm sure we can. Well, see, that's the thing. I look at tonight's performance, and yes, again, we got a little bit lucky on Santi's goal. I mean, realistically, that should have been saved by Herrera. Do I think Herrera is a tier 1 keeper in the USL? Absolutely not. But I still think he should have saved that shot by Santi because it wasn't a spectacular angle, given where he picked up the ball. But looking at how we continued after that, looking at opportunities that continued to happen after that, we talked about Josh Joling's opportunity a minute ago. We saw Amando have a goal get disallowed. We saw a penalty towards how that wasn't a penalty. I don't know. We saw.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
No, you don't know. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Mm-mm.
Where I want to say was it Amando running into the box, steps around the defender to try to make a play on the ball, and the keeper just clears him out.
Oh yeah.
That's not a penalty.
I think that was either Doling or Hurst. I can't remember if it was Doling before he went out or if it was Hurst.
It might have been Hurst.
It was one of the 2 big boys up front.
But how that's not a penalty, I don't know. They gave a corner off that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's there. He's got the opportunity to make a ball. He just gets absolutely cleared out in the box. And I know that's, well after the fact where we had already gone down 2-1, but I mean, we had opportunities. So I don't necessarily think that the tenacity isn't there. I just think that we're just not putting it all together.
No, they don't have that 5th gear. They just haven't seemed to, like, the only times I've seen it, like the 2 times I saw it in this match in particular were both Amando. Mm-hmm. And it was a loose ball that he was trying to get to that I think one of them he ended up getting to, but nothing really came out of it. And then the other one he didn't even get to. And it's like, where is that, like, that speed, not necessarily speed, but just effort to kick it up to like your fullest speed that you can go when we have a chance to score and not just going after a loose ball. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was just, it looked good to start the second half. I'll give you that. We definitely looked a lot better. Getting that goal early helps, obviously. And we did continue to pressure there. But then another thing is that, after the fluky Harry Schwartz goal, own goal, after that, it's just like we have a tendency at times to just give something up like that and then just put our head down. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. And then 3 minutes later, we give up another goal. Just on also a weird play. I can't remember if it was Romario or Foster that gets touched in the back and goes down in a heap.
That was Romario.
And then from that point on, well, no, sorry, that was the first goal. My bad.
That was the first one. Yeah,
that was the first goal. The second goal was just we just got beat there, like you said earlier. I just got them mixed up. Sorry, the Avalanche are playing now too, and they just gave up 2 goals in 19 seconds, and I just had like a deja vu moment of earlier, and I'm just a little distraught. So I'm gonna do this real quick because it's almost to the second intermission.
Well, I tell you what, I do have some news that'll make you feel better here real quick.
Okay.
The U11 Highland Hornets beat Albuquerque High today by a final of, I think it was like 38-27 or some nonsense like
Bravo.
that.
Bravo.
Yeah, it was at one point in the game we had 3 consecutive kickoffs ran back for touchdowns between both teams. So
interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting end of the game.
So back to sadness. Other than like that 5-minute span, which I think we've said that for several games, other than for this, other than for that. I thought the defense did look really stout, especially in the first half when we had, I don't know what the possession numbers exactly were at the end of the first half. But I know at one point in the first half, they were probably like 80-20. I mean, it was real bad, but we were able to still dictate what Colorado Springs did. I don't think they ever really got into a rhythm of what they wanted to. And any time they put in a cross or anything like that, we had plenty of guys in place and it looked really good, but we couldn't create any forward momentum from there. We had a couple small breaks here and there that could have led to something, and then you flip that with the second half and it's like, okay, well, we finally had some offense, but then we give up 2 goals.
Yeah.
So is this a team that, we need to just figure out how to sit in and counter better? Do we need to figure out how to play with 4 at the back? Because last year, we saw a lot of 3 at the back. But then I feel like we made a kind of a switch at one point and started playing 4 at the back, and I felt like that helped us out. But it doesn't seem like this group really likes that. So do we see a formation change? Is it just a mentality? You can talk about sack Prince all you want. It's not going to happen, no matter who wants it to happen. The powers that be, I can almost assure you, won't do it mid-season unless it's like, 15, 20 games in and we're still just not good. It's not going to happen for another 15 games, 10, 15 games at minimum. So if we're looking at what changes can Zach make, is it more lineup, more formation, or is the team just not as good as we thought?
Well, there's a couple different answers to this that they all kind of piece together. So one, we talked about the preseason earlier, and this is something we talked about coming into week 1, or I guess technically week 2, was that in the preseason, we didn't necessarily play against first teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so perhaps the offensive numbers were inflated by that. I certainly don't think this is a club that's going to score 3 goals a game. I certainly don't think that. I think that the Open Cup match against UDA, playing a lower level opponent, we took advantage of that, and that's why we were able to put up 6 goals.
We also played a different formation in that game.
We
had Doling and Hurst out there from the get-go.
Yeah.
And why can't we at least try that in the championship?
Yeah. So I'm getting to that. So you look at that, and so yes, lower division opponents, we did what we should have done against them. Now, a lot of that had to do with formation. A lot of that had to do with the fact that we rotated some younger guys in. I think those guys were immensely more creative than what we're seeing right now from the first team. I also think that the formation change did help in that match. I feel like you talk about the 3 at the back. I feel like 3 at the back with Kalen as the lone center back, that middle center back. Has he been better than last season? Yes. But there have been times where he has looked lost or gotten beat. I mean, you saw him get turned around by Malik Foster tonight, and he just couldn't catch up. He couldn't make that turn on Malik and get back. And then you saw him standing on the goal line.
Malik is one of the fastest players in the league, to be fair.
Yeah.
And that little touch was put essentially right inside the post. That, I'm not going to fault him for that. Obviously, you wish you'd made a better play on the Skundrich goal, but at the same time, it was a perfectly placed pass, and Skundrich didn't try to get cute with it or anything. He just deflected it in like a hockey goal. So I'm not going to fault Kalen for either of those things necessarily.
I think you can fault him there for not getting back off the line fast enough. I feel like after the initial ball came in, he just kind of stayed back there. I mean, it's not like Skundrich was like 6-7 yards away. I mean, it's not going to take much for Kalen to step up after stopping on the line instead of just standing there, But I mean, and we can get into that if we really want to. But no, I think a formation change at the back is necessary. I think we do need to go to 4 at the back because we saw it do well for us last year when we used it.
We've been in a 4 in the back this whole time.
Oh,
we went to a 3 in the back when we were chasing there at the end, but it's consistently Kalen and Seymour in the middle with Yearwood and Swartz or Suggs.
But see, that's the thing. We don't play. It's not a traditional 4 at the back. It may line up as a 4 at the back, but you've got Harry bombing up the left. He's not playing that traditional left back role.
That's the 4 at the back that we've always played.
Well, so
and I'm going back to year 1.
So what we do is it's the way it's set up. It's a 3 at the back with your wing backs. It's not a traditional 4. It's not. It's not your traditional left back, right back, 2 center backs. It's not that we play. Those wing backs.
No, it is a left back and a right back that like to get forward when we have possession, and then in defense, it is a 4 at the back system. There are 4. You could see it clear as day especially in that first half when Colorado Springs had the ball. It was a line of 4 with Harry, Ryden, Seymour, and Austin as that back 4. That's what it was the whole first half, and that's what it's been for 5 games now. Aside from and I think even the Open Cup was 4 at the back. It was just a different formation up top. It was more of a 4-4-2 than this 4-2-3-1, 4-1-4-1, whatever the hell we're playing right now.
Yeah, it's like a 4-5-1 or whatever nonsense that was. I don't know. It says 4-2-3-1, but
because it's almost consistently those 4 at the back, and then Sam and Portillo as like a double pivot, and then Rivas, Moreno, Moreno and Moore as your wing backs or as your wingers, and then Doling or Hurst up top. That's what it's been all season to start every match anyways. And then you might see a tweak here and there. Like I know we went to 3 in the back at some point this year or at some point this match to try to push forward. When Suggs came on, Suggs was almost exclusively up the field, which didn't do us any good either way. We didn't create anything then either. And so, no, we've been at a 4 in the back. If anything, we need to go to a 3 at the back or a 5 at the back with Harry and Suggs or something like that on the wing as the wing backs, and then have 3 in the middle instead of just 2. But then we're struggling to create anyways. So if we do 3 at the back with still the 2 wing backs that we've been having, do we take away a defensive midfielder to do that? Do we take away an attacking player to do that? I don't see a simple solution here. Because that was the one thing last year when we were at 4 in the back is we were more attacking because you had, in possession, it was 2 at the back with 2 pushing forward. And we've been doing that and it's still not doing any good. So I don't know. I'm not a formation tactic guru by any means. But definitely seems like something needs to change. And I don't know why we wouldn't at least try. I have to go back and look at that UDA match, but I know we had 2 at the top. I want to say it might have just been more of a straight 4-4-2, but it was more of a diamond because we had Portillo was like the lone pivot. So you had the 4 at the back, then you had Portillo right in front of them, and then you had the other 5 players attacking. Whereas now we've got Hamilton and Portillo as kind of a double pivot right there in front of the back line. And it's just not working. There's not enough attacking prowess there and enough creativity. We saw Sam score a goal. We've seen Sam get forward a little bit here and there, but he's not that creative, kind of pull the strings player from back there like a Weehan, like a Rivas can be when he's playing properly. And so it's something needs to change, and I don't know what.
Yeah. I think, if you listen to the things that Zach has talked about, about delivery, about service in the box, and we haven't been great about that. It has gotten better here and there, but we shouldn't be seeing guys like Santi and Morena and Amando. You saw him on the tonight make those big runs. I mean, he shouldn't necessarily have to be doing that. We should be getting the ball to him at the top of the box, inside the area. Same with Santi and Darling and Hurst, getting them the ball in areas to be dangerous, not in areas where they need to then drive the ball forward and try to, get past somebody.
What kind of throws me off is the one preseason match I went to, from where I was standing, you could hear a lot of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of talk of long balls, from Kalen to Brucey cutting in off the wing, or from Santi cutting in off the wing, from Seymour, whatever. I don't know where those have been all season. We saw one chance. I saw one pass to Brucey that almost connected, not quite. And I don't know. I don't know where those have disappeared to.
Harry's point here. My issue with New Mexico United is they are too old. They needed to bring in fresh players and not older NMU players. My biggest pet peeves when it comes to NMU. I mean, to be fair, we did bring up a number of academy kids. Yes, we did bring back Santi. We did bring back some others who are a little bit older, but I mean, and I think we do have one of the oldest average age groups, average age rosters at this point. But I mean, there's a number of younger kids. They're just not getting minutes in league play at this, right now. We saw them in the Open Cup, and we thought they looked great. We thought they looked like they had fresh ideas. But yeah,
I know by the numbers we're one of the older groups, or one of the older teams. I was looking through our ages though, and you have Suggs, that's like 33. You have Caleb and Portillo who are in their 30s. But you also have like Doling and Hurst that are 25. You have Brucey who's 25. We've got multiple teenagers, not including Miles Merritt and Andres Robles, but Wagner's 19, Vipar. I don't know. I always mess up his name. He's 19. Milo and Colonna and Sosa are all fresh out of college. They're like 23. And we haven't been playing Suggs that much this year. I mean, he hasn't started. I don't think he started a single match for us, honestly. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think he might have started once, but for the most part, it's Austin and Harry starting out there as the left and right back. And so we do need more roster rotation. I'll give you that, Harry. Let's put that comment up here. Because we haven't seen, like, why not give Bruce a start? Why not give Milo a start? Why not give Sosa a midfield start? Like, at this point, 5 games in, 4 points through 5 matches, just a inept offense. At least try to provide a spark. Like, maybe if you're set on keeping this 4-2-3-1, and maybe try to get a player in there that's gonna at least be a little more creative, change up the pace, do something in the midfield specifically. Because I know Nava and Weehan both would play that 10 role as that as the middle of that front 3 behind Doling or Hurst. And Sergio's not it. Sergio's not that player.
No, he's not. Sergio is a guy, and we talked about this last year. Sergio is a guy who can play that deep lying role, like almost like a 6, and push the ball forward. We saw him like the one time that we saw him do that last year, he was phenomenal. Like he absolutely was. But he's just not being put in that role. He's not being put in a position to where he can get the ball in a deeper spot and then push it forward. When he does that, when he runs at defenses, he forces guys to turn and put their backs to him. And I think he can be tremendously dangerous, but he's not being used in the right manner, in my opinion.
And I don't know, like I've seen, obviously it's easy to see when you're looking at it on the broadcast and you can see the whole field, right? From a bird's eye view kind of the whole field. You can obviously see things that at pitch level you can't see. I know that firsthand from when I'm at the home games, and I'm down there behind the goal. But there are so many times, there were several times tonight that Rivas would get the ball, 30, 35 yards out and have a chance to turn and dribble towards the goal, or have a chance to turn and find somebody out on the wing, or Doling posting up at the 18-yard box or something. And instead, he collects the ball and then just turns and passes it, not necessarily straight backwards, but backwards to the other wing. Or so he's moving the ball. It's just not progressing it forward. It's not progressing it in an attacking manner. It's progressing it backwards or neutral at best. And it's frustrating to where, to answer Harry's question, no, we're not missing chances. We haven't really been creating chances. Honestly, our finishing, I don't know how our finishing is, because we haven't, other than Doling's chance tonight, we haven't seen our center forwards specifically have any chances. Our wingers really not have any chances. So how many goals have we scored? We scored 3, 4?
4.
One was a PK. One was this gift off the turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I think of the other 2?
You had Amondo's when they took off, and Sam's.
Sam's was good.
Yeah,
Sam's was like proper buildup and
fantastic ball into by Amondo.
And Santi crashing to get the header, probably should have scored. Sam being in a dangerous spot for the rebound. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you expect to see. Like, that first half of that San Diego match is still our best offensive half of football that we've had all year.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we could build off that tonight, and we regressed. And I get that, we talked about Malik Foster's speed. Beckford, who was quiet tonight, but he's also very speedy. Romario.
He didn't play tonight.
He didn't?
Beckford did not play tonight.
The announcers were saying he was quiet, and maybe that's why. So I would have taken the Colorado Springs announcers as knowing what the hell they were talking about, but I guess I shouldn't have. Either way, they have speed, and they have a pretty good attacking core. And they, other than the Sacramento match where they lost 4-0 last week, they've looked decent on the offensive end, if not just downright good. And so I could see going into Colorado Springs, maybe not wanting to push as much right away, but at some point we've got to turn it on, even if it's for bursts like on breakaways. And every time we had a chance to break away, it was the same thing: outlet pass, and then instead of turning and dribbling or turning to find somebody streaking down, it was play it back and let's build up back out of the back when we had a chance to do something offensively. And I think part of that's Zach's philosophy. But I think also at the same time, you got to read the room. You got to read the play if you're out there on the pitch. And yes, Zach wants us to build up out of the back and be a good team in possession. But when you're under that much pressure, you got to look to be able to counter and at least be dangerous off the counter. Otherwise, they're not going to respect the counter at all. And we're going to go into games in the future where they know we can't counter. So they're going to push forward and push forward and push forward. And even if we get a chance to counter, they're going to be able to recover because we don't know what we're doing on the counter. And so I think there's definitely changes that can be made. I think we'll see something, especially if, Orange County doesn't go the way it should. And so it puts me in a real hard place because I've had several conversations with Zach even last year and this year, but specifically this year, that make me just love him as a person. And I think he has potential to be a good coach. I think the mindset's there. we just got to start putting it together for him.
So the league has credited us with 39 shots so far this season. Who leads the club in shots taken?
Ooh, Portillo?
Santi.
Santi does, really.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird because we've talked about Santi being very quiet so far this season. How many does he have? Like 8, 9? 9.
Yep. All right. The league has also credited us with 20 shots on target. So we're right at 50% on target. Tonight, we were real shit. We were 2 on target out of 9 attempts. Who leads the club in shots on target?
Not Santi.
Santi.
Okay.
Santi is at 5 on target. So, I mean, Harry, I think, again, we talked about a little bit earlier. The answer to your question is twofold. Are we creative enough? No. Are we finishing the opportunities that we've had? No. So it's both. It really is a little bit of both. I mean,
I don't know.
Realistically, Santi should have scored off the Armando cross tonight. Now, Coque Vegas made a terrific fucking save. Terrific kick save. Sam put the ball back in. I mean, you look at 90% of the keepers in USL, and they're not going to make that save. So realistically, Santi should have had a goal there. Now, do I fault Santi for that? Not at all. I mean, that's Coque Vegas doing tremendous things. But you look at some of the other guys who are leading the club in attempts right now. I mean, Justin Portillo, 5 shots, 3 on target. Sam, 4 and 2. Bees, 3 for 3. Of course, we don't know when Bees is going to be back. Sergio, 3 shots, none on target. Like that to me is slightly concerned, but again, it's only 3 shots. So, I mean, we're not making the most of the opportunities. We're not, like I said earlier, we're not pushing the ball into areas that we need to. We're not putting service at the feet of our strikers. I mean, you look at our strikers. Greg Hurst, 1 shot, 1 on target. Josh Dalling, 2 shots, 1 on target. So, I mean, we're not servicing our strikers. We're just not. And that's a problem. So, I mean, there's definite areas of improvement. There's definite things that we need to do. Like, we have to find ways to get the strikers involved. We absolutely have to in the attacking third. Defensively, I just don't know at this point. I just don't know. I don't know that 3 at the back is the answer. I'm not convinced that 4 at the back is the answer. But we have to find ways to prevent the transitional goals that we're giving up. We have to find ways to get out in transition and make things happen. And we saw a little bit of that tonight. We saw the long balls going up. We saw Armando Moreno get put in positions where he could potentially make an effort. I felt like the foul call against him was soft, the one that had the goal disallowed. I felt like the non-penalty should have been a penalty. So there were some opportunities there because the balls were put forward to a spot where Armando could get to it. Now, why can't we do that with Josh and Hurst? I don't know.
No, they play a different position. It's us. We get the ball to Moreno. Moreno's supposed to get the ball to them.
Well, yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm just saying if we can play the ball forward, in that type of area, to where Armando can get onto it. Why can't we do something similar in order to try to get the other two involved, or to try to play it up to Armando or whoever else is in the midfield to get the ball to the forwards? Like that's my thing. It's like, why do you have such a hard time feeding the strikers?
Yeah, it's I don't know. Well, I'm gonna try to go back and watch. Here pretty soon when have a baby. I will have a lot of time to just sit and hold the baby while I rewatch New Mexico United games.
I was really hoping you weren't gonna say you're gonna let Allie sit and hold the baby while you rewatch New Mexico United games.
No, I'll hold the baby.
Okay.
I'll hold the baby.
Okay.
But because I'm gonna take some time off work, and so especially if the kids are still in school, it'll give me a lot of chances to just sit and watch, and kind of go over what's going on, and we don't really have a whole lot of time to dwell on this match, as we've got 2 home games coming up in the next week, and both against quality opponents, and so we'll definitely have to figure it out on the fly, and
quality is debatable, but yeah, two tough matches.
Phoenix went and got a point in San Antonio, down a man tonight, down a man for, I think they lost him in the 56th minute, so it wasn't an easy task by any means. In Orange County, I haven't seen what they're doing today, but they are they're losing to Birmingham right now, but they've been solid for the beginning of this season. Maybe not. Maybe I'm full of shit. They were 1-3-3, so never mind. So that one we should get points, but we've talked about the West quite a bit already this year, and it's every game's gonna be tough, whether it's Orange County or RGV just came out and got a win. I think they got a win. No, sorry, they got their butts kicked to Memphis. I don't know. I'm all over the place. Bottom line, we need to figure it out. We need to figure it out soon. We got Phoenix coming up in the Open Cup on Wednesday. Then we turn around and have Orange County at home on Saturday. So if we're going to figure it out, these 2 home games in a row, seems like a good time to do it.
I completely agree. And speaking of Open Cup on Wednesday, if you're still looking for tickets, ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team is giving away 2 pairs of tickets to Wednesday night's match. You can, of course, check out their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for opportunities to win a pair of tickets. 2 pairs are being given away to that match. First place gets a pair of tickets and a $50 New Mexico United Store gift card. Second prize gets a pair of tickets. But yeah, I mean, that one's going to be at the Lab. It's going to be absolutely massive to see an Open Cup match at the Lab for once. Midweek match. Obviously we'll talk about a little bit on Tuesday night, but what's your early prediction on the draw for Wednesday?
Asking me tonight after this. I will say it goes to extra time. What happens after that, I don't know.
Oh, I meant draw as in like attendance numbers.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's Phoenix. Cheap tickets, Phoenix, Open Cup, maybe 9,000.
9,000 on a Wednesday? That's not bad. That would not be bad at all.
I think 8,000 is kind of what we've done on Wednesdays in the past, non-COVID affected seasons, and so I think that should be a fair number for this. It's like I said, cheap tickets. It's a opponent that we all know all too well, and people know we'll probably get some Phoenix fans over here, and so I think 9 or 8 probably. If it's above 8, I'd be happy.
Yep, I would too. So,
are you gonna make it?
Yeah, I'll be there. I will certainly be there for that one. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I am working on getting there.
Okay.
Haven't kind of going to depend on how Allie's feeling that day and what we decide to do, but
yeah,
I would like to make it.
Did you say they might?
They're not going to at the moment.
Okay.
We have another appointment on Thursday after that match to see what they decide there. So we'll just have to see. We're kind of going to play it by ear, and if it works out, then maybe I go, and if not, then I will attempt to watch from home somehow, and go from there.
All right. Well, if you cannot make it, I may ask you to send me your pass, because I may try to get a photographer to come help out for a couple matches while you're not there.
You have 2 passes.
I do, but if Earl ever shows up, one goes to him.
Oh, Earl's not going to go to that game.
Earl will not be there.
It's a Wednesday game.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, for the foreseeable future, like if you can't be there, Earl more than likely will not be there. So
no, if it comes to a point where it looks like I'm not going to make it to many matches anymore, then I'll get my pass to you.
All right, sounds good. But I think that's it. I don't have anything more to say. Like, disappointing result in Colorado, should have been better. And we move on to Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't think the sky is quite falling. I don't think it's the dog in a burning kitchen meme just yet. But it's concerning to say the least, and we still got time at the moment to turn it around. And I think Zach can do it. Whether he will do it is another question. But on to Phoenix, on to the Open Cup, coming back home after how many matches have we played now? Five in USL play, and only one of those at home.
Yep.
And it's no coincidence that the one of those at home is when we looked the best all around. So hopefully we can get some home games under the belt, get into a rhythm that way, kind of know what we need to do to dominate to dictate these matches, and you'll see what we can do Wednesday against Phoenix and then Saturday against Orange County. So if you got nothing else, then guys, Harry, thank you. Robert and Jerry, fuck off, much like a couple weeks ago. And, we'll be back Tuesday. Maybe talk a little bit more about this, especially if Earl happens to show up. It's his birthday on Tuesday. He already told me, he told us here a while back that he didn't know if he was going to be there or not for it. But, so we might talk about it, but we'll definitely look forward to Phoenix and Orange County and talk about maybe some Open Cup matches that are going on Tuesday and go from there. We'll see. Hopefully we can, turn it around coming up and I just disappointing to say the least, but obviously wearing the kit still. I put this on after the match as much as it hurt. Got the scarves up. We're still diehards. We'll still be here every week, regardless of if we have the season from hell like El Paso did a couple years ago, or if we turn this thing around. Either way, we're going to be here. And so Tuesday night, 9:00, me and Seth for sure. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on or what's going forward. And so until then, enjoy the weekend, be safe out there, and somos unidos.